Hey guys, welcome back. Today the FRQs that we're going to review are the problems where you have two rates. One rate is how fast things are being removed. The other rate is how fast things are being added. Okay, and this is a common type of question. Two different rates going on at the same time. Most importantly for these word problems, stay calm, read carefully, make sure you actually understand the situation. Okay, and there are hints to help you. When you see the word per, that means this is a rate. They're already giving you a rate. Predict, they're going to ask for the total of that thing. If they give you a rate, you're probably going to integrate to get total pounds instead of pounds per hour was the rate. Okay? If the rate represents feet per second, then when you integrate, you get total feet. But if they give you a rate, predict that they're going to ask for the total of something. Okay? Also, make sure you know which one's adding and which one's subtracting, and maybe write it on your test. So in this case, we're talking about silly bananas on a display in a grocery store. Whatever, dumb. But this is how fast the bananas are being removed. So this is my rate out or rate removed. This is how fast the bananas are being put back or put on display. So this is the rate in. Okay, you typically have two different things working against each other. Also pay attention to the rate out here. They're being removed starting at time 0, but they don't get put back on display until time of 3. So be careful about that. Now, the next thing you should predict, like I said, they might ask for what's the total amount of bananas removed or the total amount of bananas put back. So you're going to integrate either this one or this one. Just pay attention to which one. So if they said, what's the total amount of bananas removed in the first 4 hours? Well, I would integrate f of t from 0 to 4. And then that's totally a math question or a calculator question. You don't even have to write it better than that. That's all you have to write. Then you do math 9 on your calculator to get the answer. Okay, it's a very calculator dependent problem. Also, make sure you round always 3 digits to the right of the decimal. All right, the next type of question that they'll often ask is for you to just find like a random derivative. Okay, like they'll say, what is f prime of 3, making a number up, and what does it mean? Okay, well, if this is f, then f prime of 3 just literally means I'm going to do the derivative of this at 3. That's where you use n-derive, okay? So getting the actual answer is really easy. Just know how to use your calculator. So you can write f prime of 3, and you just give the freaking number on your calculator. You don't have to show any work. Okay, the trickier part is they will tell you to give units and tell what this means. And that's a little harder. Okay, first, units. If this equation is pounds per hour, then when I integrate it, you get total pounds. But if this is pounds per hour and I derive it, then it's pounds per hour to start with. Another derivative makes it pounds per hour squared or pounds per hour. Okay? And that's often a point. If they tell you to give units and you just do that, free point. All right, now what does it mean? Okay? Well, if the rate of this derivative, if you got a negative answer, you'd say that they are being removed, because that's what this stood for. The rate that they are being removed is decreasing, because it's negative at time 3. If you got a positive, you'd say the rate that they are being removed is increasing, and by whatever the amount was. Okay, now read part C. Is the number of pounds of bananas on the table increasing or decreasing at a certain time, t of 5? Is the amount of bananas increasing or decreasing at a specific time? Well, it's easier than you think. All you need to do is compare whatever their time was. This one was at 5. Is at 5, is the rate out faster than the rate in? You just plug in 5 to both of those. See which one's faster. Are you removing bananas faster than you're putting them back, or the opposite? That's all. So you just got to know how to interpret it. These are already rates. I just need to know which rate is faster, rate out or rate in. So literally plug in the 5 everywhere you see a T, write down what these two things are, and then use your common sense to say which one is bigger, and therefore, if they're being removed faster, you'd say the amount of bananas is decreasing. If they're being added faster, then you'd say the amount of bananas is increasing. It's just common sense, okay? It's not tricky. Okay, this last question is also very typical. This is where you have to put both rates together, okay? How many pounds of bananas are on display at time 8? Okay, so reread the question and you'll see that it started with 50 bananas, okay? So if they say how many pounds of bananas are on the table at T of 8, it's the starting amount of bananas plus the total, let me get rid of that, total in and minus total out. Okay, well, how do I find total in and total out? Those are integrals. Okay, so which one was the rate in and which one was the rate out? Let me see, I got to go back. So continuing with part D, total amount at time 8, it would be the 50 that we started with plus total in, which started at 3. So it said, and they said at time 8. So at time 3 to time 8, G of T, that would be the total out from 3 to 8. Wait, that's total in, sorry. Minus total out, this was out. So we're going to integrate F of T, and that one starts at 0 to 8. Okay, and that's all you have to write on your paper. And then find the answer in your calculator. Math 9, 50 plus Math 9 of this and minus Math 9 of that. Now, if these bounds are the same, by the way, then you can write the integral just once and put G of T minus F of T behind it. It makes your math a little easier sometimes. Okay, so going back to part D, it said, how many bananas are on display at T of 8? So we got to add up all of the bananas that are taken away and all of the ones that are removed and take into account the starting amount. Okay, so it's starting amount plus total in minus total out. Now, this question, this year, 2017, doesn't ask another question that other tests do ask. So I'm going to ask one more question with regards to this, even though it's not on this test, okay? Okay, I'm going to use the same scenario. Bananas again. Still the bananas, still the exact same stuff. But a question that they didn't ask on this year, but they often do, is they'd say, when is the amount of bananas on display a maximum? Okay, so here's the glitch about this. Normally we're trained, when it says max or min, I know exactly what to write. Derivative of that thing is 0, changes size, blah, 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 T-chart. Well, the amount of bananas is not something that they gave us an equation for, and therefore, how do I denote its derivative? So when they do that, when they ask you to find a maximum of something that they didn't give you an equation for, you want to write your own equation. Give it a title. So amount of bananas, I'm going to write A of T is equal to amount of bananas on display. The reason I do that is I can now get points for knowing how to find the answer, even if I don't find the answer. Now that it has a title, I can do my training for a maximum, which is derivative of that thing is 0 or undefined and changes from, for maximum, positive to negative. And I can do my T-chart, T, A of T. I can put the endpoints. For this one, let's say it was in the from first 8 hours, I don't know, 0 and 8. Okay, so if you give it a title, then you can get your points for your justification, even if you don't find the right answers. Okay, now if you want to now write the equation for what is the total amount of bananas on display, well, the amount of bananas at any given time would be the starting amount plus the total in minus the total out. It's just that simple. From 0 to whatever the time is that they asked for. Okay? Now, because this T and this T are the same, they'll sometimes call this an X, but it's okay. All right, so that's just me giving you a hint. I'm not trying to do the whole problem, but tell me if you need more from me. Don't be shy. Hope you guys are doing all right. Bye.